Tastes like strawberries on a summer evening, and it sounds just like.
Hey guys, I'm Alysha and welcome back to my channel. Today I've got a fun tutorial for you guys. We're going to be making the crochet top that Harry Styles wears in his Watermelon Sugar music video. Very exciting. This one is super simple. It's great for beginners, so if you don't even have a foundation for crochet, you can probably do this one. But if you want to learn the basic stitches, super slow, you can check out my video for absolute beginners, and then start with this one because this is really simple. We're pretty much just making the rectangle for the top, rectangle for the shoulders, and connecting it all together. So yeah, let's get into it. So we're gonna start with a slip knot. And I'm making a chain of 55. You need to make a chain that's long enough to pretty much go across the front of your body and touch right down the side. So I've got my chain of 55. And now we are going to just do a whole bunch of rows of double crochet. Not in the first loop, not in the second loop, but in the third loop from the hook. I'm going to insert, yarn over once, pull through two, pull through two. So insert, sorry if you can hear my dogs, pull through one, pull through two, pull through two, yarn over, insert, so we're just going to keep going down the row until we get to the end, and I'll meet you there and I'll show you how to continue on to the next row. Alright, so I've gotten to the end of my row, and now what you're going to do is chain two, flip your work like you're flipping a page in a book, and then continue on entering each of the stitches with a double crochet. So we're going to keep on doing rows and rows and rows of double crochets until you have enough for the length of your top from your neckline to, if you want it cropped, I think that Harry's was cropped a little bit. So I'll meet you when I get to my neckline. I have done 15 rows, and this goes around to like my mid-waist to right above my bust. It's not too cleavage showing. So now we are going to put double crochets into 10 stitches only. We're going to start our straps. They're going to go up on each side. And the last one, 10. Now we stop. Pretend that this is the end of our row, so we're going to chain 3 and flip our work. So then we're going to do a bunch more rows. Alright, so see how we're kind of building up this side? I'm going to do a couple more rows so that it is long enough so that when it's sitting on me, this strap will touch the top of my shoulder. I did 12 rows up, and now what we're going to do, we only need the chain 1, and we're going to snip off. Now what we're going to do is reattach. So I just did a slip knot and putting it on my hook. And now we're going to insert, make a slip stitch, chain 3. In that very same hole, so we should have inserted it in the first stitch, I'm going to put a double crochet and then 9 more across. So we're going to make an identical strap. That was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Chain 3, flip your work, and then continue. So I did 12, yours might be different, but I'm going to do 11 more rows of the strap so that it matches, and then I'll meet you when I'm done that. Alright, so now that you've got your straps done, I want you to count how many stitches are between your 2 straps. You could just also subtract 20 because that's how many stitches you used, but yeah, count how many stitches you have here, and that's how many you're going to chain to connect these two. Insert my hook into that stitch there and make a slip stitch. I'm going to continue slip stitching across the row until I get to the end. Alright, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and flip your work. So now you kind of have like a bib, and you're gonna go back across it with double crochets. We did that row of slip stitches so that one side wouldn't be longer than the other. Slip stitches don't really like add any length. They're just kind of like a traveling method, I think. And sometimes these slip stitches are kind of hard to get into, but just look closely and you'll be able to get your hook in there. Once you get to the chain, just enter your stitches as you would as if you were like starting a project and you had a chain to go through. And try not to get it twisted because that will just make it hard. I'm just gonna fast forward a bit until I get to the end of this row. Okay, so you've got this piece. Now this is gonna be the back folded over. So we're just gonna keep doing rows back and forth of double crochet until we have a piece that's long enough to match these corners and go all the way down. So I've got my panel for the front and back, and we're just going to fold it over and make sure that the ends line up. Now I notice that my back goes a little bit higher than my front, so I'm going to mark from here, and that is where I'm going to have my armhole. You can place in a stitch marker if you'd like, so that just that you know where to stop and make sure that it's on the same row on the opposite side. So I'm lining up my ends here. And at the end of the row, instead of chaining 3 like for regular double crochets, I only chained 1. And now what we're going to do is insert in both the front piece and the back piece. And I am going to do single crochets all the way up the side. And I'm going to stop when I get to my stitch marker. Alright, so I've gotten to about where I wanted to finish, so I'm just going to chain 1, snip, and tie off. Got a big enough armhole here. And now I'm just going to look across at the stitch where I completed. And this is where I'm going to add my stitch marker again. To do the other side, I'm going to do a slip knot, insert my hook, and line up my 2 ends. Gonna insert my hook here, make a slip stitch, chain 1, and I'm gonna put a single crochet in that very same hole and just match exactly what I did on the other side on this side. Now we're gonna do the green detail that goes around the edges. So I'm starting with a slip knot, inserting my hook, and I personally like to start at the back. That's just a personal preference. And we are going to start by inserting our hook, pulling through so that you have 2 on the loop, and making a slip knot. Now we're going to chain 2, and in that very same hole we're going to put 2 more triple crochet or half double crochets, sorry about that. Alright, so we've got that. Then in the very next hole we have a slip stitch. You'll notice that you have defined stitches on the back and the front necklines, but you don't on the sleeves, so you're just gonna have to eyeball it a little bit. But we put 3 half double crochets and then 1 slip stitch, and then 3 half double crochets, and then 1 slip stitch, 3 half double crochets, slip, the stitches are much easier to see on the front neckline and back, like center of your top, so it's really simple. Alright, so you see it's kind of making like this scallop pattern, kind of like little bubbles. But yeah, so I'm going to go all the way around and reach back to where we started at the beginning, and I'll show you how to reattach. Gotten to the end here, and in that very first one where we put our first little bubble, I'm inserting my hook and doing a slip stitch. Gonna chain 1, pull up a little bit, snip, and tie off. And now, look at that. You've got your nice little bubble hem. And so we're going to do the exact same thing around the armholes. And then this didn't really show much in the actual watermelon sugar video because he was sitting behind a table, but you can see if he had it on the bottom as well. But I'm just going to add it just so it looks a little bit more cohesive. I think that the nice scalloped hem on the trim on the bottom would look nice as well. So I'm going to continue on, and then I'll show you what it looks like. Can you say watermelon sugar? Hi. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to check me out on Instagram and TikTok, and if you make it, I'd love to see it. Alright, bye!